what are you working on, or what are you wishing to?
I'm a PhD student in economics in France, and I was doing some theoretical work on political economy, but I'm not very convinced about economic research. And I'm interested in this question of whether we can teach people rationality by making it a much larger focus in high schools than it is right now. So maybe by teaching people basics in psychology, like all this research on biases and so on, statistics, some science literacy, some philosophy, and ethics. Maybe we can generally improve the rationality of the public and improve the quality of public discourse, ultimately maybe leading to better outcomes at the collective level, better policy outcomes. For the moment, I'm looking for is there research about teaching rationality, and are there already people who maybe outside of effective fascism who are trying to pursue an agenda like this?
See, the thing you told right now, I wanted to ask that are you currently focusing on the research, like what should be taught, or are you talking about the implementation part, that how those things could be
No,
implemented?
I'm not doing any research in this area. I'm an economist, not an education researcher, but I'm interested in this, and basically, I'm just investing some of my private time to find research, search for organizations that do adjacent work, and maybe try to connect some people who are interested in this.
I think it will be helpful if you can describe once what all things have you already done with respect to this aspect of yours. Like, have you done some writings? Have you written some essays? Have you made some graphs? Made some startup thing?
No, I haven't done anything like that. I've been basically doing some internet research, trying to find organizations that do related work. Okay. For example, there's the Foundation for Critical Thinking in the US. Mm-hmm. There is I did find, maybe you know about this, there's a website called Evidence-Based Wisdom. And yeah, there are several small communities like this.
Yeah, the one that they refer about the theoretical wisdom part, as far as I remember, right? The evidence-based wisdom thing. They talk about the theoretical wisdom part more than the practical wisdom part. I guess I went through their website once for my own citation purpose, and this is what I found out. And theoretical wisdom is something that is not very relevant for my research, so I ignored it. But yeah, that is one of the sources that generally comes up. So more of a literature review part of you at this moment, like trying to get material and read through what is already done.
Yes, there's also the philosophy for kids movement of philosophy for children. Mm-hmm. In the UK. That in the 90s they started teaching philosophy to children at UK high schools, and they were pushing to teach philosophy at the national level for older kids as well, but that didn't succeed. And there's some research showing that it improves reasoning skills. The impacts of rational education, like philosophy, but also modern philosophy, when it is taught not just maybe for a couple of hours, but maybe for several years.
Like a part of curriculum, making it a part of curriculum and teaching on a basis. And when you say rationality, can you tell me what do you exactly mean by it? Like, how do you what is the difference between rationality and logical education, like mathematics? And yeah, what is your idea about rationality?
I mean, I don't have a clear and very reflected upon definition ready for you, but generally it's like a set of or maybe a mindset or an attitude that that helps you find truth, or maybe it helps you basically pursue your goals.
Yeah.
Say it's about pursuing goals.
Yeah, in more of a logical way. Okay, good.
Um, See, I also believe the same that psychology and philosophy and things like this must be taught in school and added to the curriculum for the betterment. But I would like to add something further, because I think that just by knowing the truth, you do not accept it at every level. Like in several countries there are superstitions and people believe in some of that, but still uh, most of them know the truth that this is a superstition and it doesn't mean anything, it's just a cultural way which is going on. But still somewhere in their heart there is a hidden fear that even after knowing the truth that this is scientifically not possible, um, they continue to follow that superstition, they continue to do that. So I realized that just serving the truth won't be very helpful. Yeah, it is important, because first of all people must know that there is no Jewish up there, or they must know that rain, like the farmers must know that praying to a god won't cause the rain. They must know that precipitation, and like there is a process, scientific process for that. But even after knowing, like even the educated ones who know the reason of rain, they sometimes too, due to the fear in their heart, they are forced to believe in those superstitions and things like that. And that is the thing I heard. I once heard Sam Harris, and he said a very great line that um, it was something like religion can make like innocent people do things which are very inhuman. And uh, and I'm not against religion, and this is not a debate about religion, it is more about like people and their well-being. But from that we can get the essence that if we just give the children the right philosophy, the right psychology, that won't truly help them, that won't fully help them to surpass the fear in their heart, because even
Yeah.
after knowing the truth, so that is very very important to first of all give the right philosophy, the right psychology. But after that we will have to give them something even beyond that, and that I would say that that is wisdom. Like giving them rationality is very important, because from that at least they can devise and they can know that yeah, this is right. They are not in any like illusion that this is not right. Their basics are clear, but after that, um, I think that wisdom and things like spirituality can help them to like truly practice that truth which they have learned in the textbook or through the system. So,
And what is wisdom in your view?
what is wisdom? Okay, that's a great question. So, I think that uh, wisdom is the ability to practice the intellect without any biases, without any biasness or emotional attachment to the fact. Um, let me articulate it a little better. Like yeah, Madhusudan, you wrote in your paper a definition of wisdom, right?
All
Uh,
the definitions of wisdom that I have been working on are more from a technical point of view. To talk about them for humans will be pointless, because humans cannot be thought of as generators, but I define wisdom as generator of ethics. So, but they will not completely apply on humans. But the definition of wisdom that you're referring to is more of a rationality or applied rationality derived from philosophy. And what I think wisdom would be is somewhat applied philosophy in a manner, as you're referring to initially, that not just having the philosophical understanding of things, but also know how to apply them, and like solving p zombies problem, if you want to refer in that way. So and also, if I try to derive a wisdom definition from my field of work, then for humans wisdom would be something like like the one with respect to terminal goals, that wisdom is something that is helpful to align our and not just our final goals that we have with respect to any actions, but also our but also the way that we are choosing for that action. So basically it's like the continuous thing that we are applying using philosophical understanding that we have already got. Because if we don't do that and we just focus on the philosophical part, as he was saying, then I have also seen a lot of religious school that a lot of countries have as part of their curriculum, as part of student curriculum. So they do teach all the philosophies to the student, but the philosophies are not applied properly and not practiced properly based on nationality, and hence the philosophies go bad. And in spite of helping them, they even create more problem. A lot of countries have this system in which they need to go to some kind of religious school as part of their college, part of their school system, and that even becomes problem. So teaching philosophy is a good part, is an important part, but teaching rationality along with philosophy can only ensure good applications of philosophy coming into action. And it's like combination of philosophy and rationality is something of a wisdom that he's referring to, I guess, and that I would also refer to in some way. But it's like combination of rationality and philosophy would lead to some kind of theoretical wisdom, not the practical wisdom part. So practical wisdom is also very important to tackle. And for practical wisdom, we need the other component that he generally works on, that is emotional quotient, to not just be relied or dependent upon rationality itself. Like have rationality as a component, not the whole determiner of how the wisdom or how the philosophy should flow. Like it's like divided into three components. One would be philosophy, one would be rationality, and the other would be emotional quotient kind of.
That's wisdom.
The last one is what?
Emotional quotient, EQ.
Emotional quotient, right? Great. So yeah, and in that I would like to add something about wisdom, and that is I think that wisdom is the ability to stay detached from your from your from your thought constructs, or I shall say uh, from your beliefs, and once you are detached from them, then at times you can take better decision which is more rational. Otherwise people know that killing someone is not right, but even after knowing that, they kill someone because at time they are very attached to a desire or to a thing, or their, and as Madhusudan said, that their EQ lacks, like the emotion overpowers them. They are not very, and they are not able to pass
Yeah.
through their emotion.
Yeah.
So so it is a detachment, I would say, from your beliefs to better apply the rationality, because these beliefs and these things often interrupt while applying rationality in real life.
Yeah. And so, what do you do research on this in particular, or what is it that you do?
Yeah, I'm doing I'm not doing like under any organization or anything, but on my personal level I'm doing research on these things, like by reading, you can say, scriptures, as the scriptures regarding spirituality and not in a religious aspect, because in India we have a very vast range of scriptures which have deep work regarding this detachment which I'm talking about. Like it's not just polytheism or god, but in various scriptures, like in Buddhism, Dhampat, and in Hinduism also, in the Upanishads, um, they are talking something beyond god. They are talking about this very state of detachment and things like that. So I study them. Along with that, I enjoy studying neuroscience and psychology, because that is very important. Otherwise one might go in the religious part and might get out of touch of the reality, which is the current reality, the science which gives us a better picture of the reality. So I try to cope up with that also. And other than that, yeah, philosophy, like of Albert Camus and Dostoevsky and other philosophers, uh,
Okay.
I have interest in that
Okay.
also, so I studied it. So my main field of work right now, I would say, is to to fully understand this game of philosophy, rationality, and how one can develop that wisdom. One can develop that wisdom to apply them in real life, and how we can teach this to children in school.
Okay.
Like because um, like in school often children are being taught various subjects, but they have not that very wisdom to choose that subject, choose their passion at times in life when they have to take decisions, and they might go for a safer path or easier path or the path which the public say, and they might choose to work in a cubicle, uh, though they don't want to do that. Like they
Okay.
might have different passion but they choose a easier path because of the social pressure or things like that. So I think that just if I would give the children a textbook regarding a philosophy, then they might learn it and they write it in the examination as they do for other subjects, and it will be helpful at some level, but still they will not get the very essence of that philosophy because they are
Yeah,
just doing that to pass the examination as they do in other subjects. Their
yeah,
main
I think
goal.
it has to be taught in a very applied way. So it has to be taught in a way that
Yes,
is focused on how this can impact your own life.
yes,
Uh, yeah,
it's truly true.
and I guess here we're talking about not philosophy about the the existence of the universe, but very everyday philosophy, I guess. Um, no,
Right. And so we would have to change the very structure of examinations, we might have to change, because like see, in India, there is a very renowned well known book that is called Bhagavad Gita. It's a religious book, I would say, moreover it's a spiritual book. And in that book there is a very famous line that just do the work and forget about the result. Just indulge yourself in the process, and do not be attached to the results or outcomes of the process. And I guess like most of the Indians or the children in India, they have heard this line from their parents: कर्म करो फल की चिंता मत करो, be at, just work and don't care about the result. But they listen this at their home, and then they go in their school and they have to write an examination in the class, in class third or class fourth. And if they don't get the marks, then their family scolds them, their teachers scolds them. So we are just seeing them that do like this, but what we are giving them, we have made a system where they are forced to write an examination and excel in it. Otherwise, even if they studied well and they couldn't write the examination in a nice way, something went wrong, then people will mock at them, or they will get less marks, and in their class, their reputation, in their family, everything will be degraded. So they are forced to get the marks so that they have a value. But but that is the beautiful part. Like in Finland, the schools, they don't have examinations till class, I guess, till class 8th. I don't remember well, I read about those schools quite ago. But so there the thing is that maybe they are not saying this to children, but when the child is studying, he's just studying, and there's no thing like I have to excel in this exam. My motive to study is just to pass the examination. So the
yeah,
very nature of examination also must be changed, rather than just telling them things, so that in practice they can learn them, at least at the younger age,
yeah, yeah,
till 14.
yeah. I guess no. Finland is a role model in terms of education. Um,
So I would
of
like,
course, you're opening many other. You're opening a new bucket here, like how it's a big discussion. How should pupils be evaluated? Should they be evaluated? At what age should they be evaluated? And yeah,
in my field of research also, eval is as big of a problem as implementation or design. So basically, to design a method for evaluation of models is as important as designing the model itself. Or in a way, to design artificial wisdom is as important as designing methods to test for wisdom in my field of research. And same goes for humans as well, because humans are also some kind of models only in that manner. So so designing a paradigm or doing all of the research work for teaching artificial for teaching wisdom, for teaching rationality in school, is as important as designing a system that can evaluate that properly. And by properly, it's not just about designing an exam system or designing a non-exam system like Finland. I don't think that is also very feasible to design a non-exam based system. But the general problem of good hearting and proxy gaming is also very typical and gets very annoying. So but it's like these two can be seen as big implementation problem at this moment with respect to all of these concepts of wisdom in school and rationality in school, because not just with respect to wisdom and topics like philosophy. I've seen this thing also playing out with respect to topics of rationality and logic as well. A lot of students and children don't even learn rationality and logics properly, but they pass the exams because they good hard the exams. They find ways to proxy game, or they find ways to get marks, and this they are assumed to have good enough logic. So this general problem of evaluation is equivalently as strong or as important as the whole problem of whole problem of wisdom and philosophy stuff. So but again, one cannot do everything, so I think that there should be a specific focus of area that one should already decide on, that which one are they going to work on. Are they going to work on the design segment, or are they going to work on the eval system or the model system? And they can go and influence that part, but they should not focus on that. So initially I think we should focus on the design part, or designing the system that can help teach rationality and rationality. Let's use the word wisdom in whole, that wisdom includes rationality, philosophy, and EQ. So what I think is one should first focus on designing a system that is reliable for teaching or for implementing ideas or essence of rationality of wisdom in one, and then after that we should focus on eval, because that's a very big problem in general in itself.
Well, I'd be interested in whether anyone knows any concrete studies about educational interventions that taught rationality or wisdom, or however you like to call it, um, for maybe several years, and then looked at several outcome variables like reasoning skills, and things like that.
I've been reading about schools like some unconventional schools. So I found a school of Mackenzie Price. Her school is called 2 Hour Learning Academy, 2 Hour Learning School. So see, so Mackenzie Price is running that school, and in that she teaches a student only for 2 hours, and the very system is very nice because AI teaches them, and they have like guides instead of teachers who guide them. So their duration in the school is of 6 hours, and they do the academics part only for 2 hours, and the rest 4 hours they do other stuff like rationality, or like I'm not very sure about what other things they do in those 4 hours, but as she said that mostly they learn about various other skills which can be implemented in real life, about entrepreneurship or other things like this, which could make them a better human being. So, and also her system of 2 hours academic is nice because every child has his own examination. So one student of class second could be studying the topics of class sixth, because in his computer screen he has qualified those basics required for studying the level of class 6, and the same child in his class of class second might be studying the topics of class first, because every child is being taught according to him and his ability to grasp the thing, and he has his very own system in which he has to give examinations after studying. So they try to make sure that once a child studies something from AI, then he is given a test which he passes, and the test is designed in some way that it could be checked that does he truly understand, and if he doesn't understand he could take more time, and if he is quick then he could proceed further. So I think that a system like this eradicates the very sense of competition between classmates. Like, they have their own journey, and they're going according to their own pace. So the sense of competition, that I am behind, I am first, I scored this in my test, you scored this system is eradicated. So that is something I found nice also.
Okay.
Like, they seem promising right now, because maximum students from her school, like, they scored quite well in the SAT exam, and also some of them at the age of 13 or 14 have been entrepreneur and are running $10 million companies and things like that. So I think
At
that
the age of 13.
that's impressive. So we could take that 2 hour learning thing as maybe this system of giving children teaching children according to their own pace. might be helpful. So
Mhm.
so so yeah,
Yeah,
I will have to
yeah.
research.
I mean, there are many different proposals of how you can improve education. Um, Here, so I particularly, there are many people who try to influence the education system, try to influence education policy. Um, I would like to focus on specific, interventions that are specific to teaching rationality, because I think this is kind of neglected. I mean, there are many people who have ideas of how to improve teaching, less evaluation, less competition, um, maybe less time in school spent or something like that. But there are not somehow the idea that we have to make school not about not mainly about learning some facts of geography by heart, or learning things that help you in your job, but just learning general skills that help you find truth. That's a neglected idea, I think.
As far as I know, there is not much of literature to review in this field because people don't generally put a lot of time. But there are a lot of case studies like the one he mentioned, and from that we can formulate reviews that we can use in our paper. We can use in our project for citation. And since it will not be very articulated, so a lot of work of articulation that is done by previous researchers should also be done by the people who are doing the research at this moment. So it's like double the amount of work as some normal research as a normal paper. And but we can see that we can find good amount of institutes or organizations or some this kind of makeshift that work very well, that have shown good results as well, like the $1 billion teenagers and all. So but again, I also think that there will be less amount of literature review, because it's like the people who are actually doing this thing, they don't care to write papers, they don't care to write blogs, they actually care to do the thing and implement a system or make a thing. They are not very much concerned with writing papers. So this example that he gave right now, and other examples of Elon Musk also, have heard that there are some, the whole case study of Finland in general, the whole education system they have in general, we can extract out some points or some things from that also. So, and doing the basic research thing that is always done, like pulling out a lot of points from a lot of literature or examples and then combining them in one, and then making our own interpretation of them, and then making some prediction. I think that could be best way, because in this we are also already including the parts of implementation and evaluation in some or other way. We are already including the part where we will think about the method and we will formulate a way to implement that method. So it's like all of this procedure is already done by the people who have made these institutions, who have done this organization. They have already thought about it. They have already done the work. We just have to extract the underlying framework that they have worked, and the underlying framework that is same within all of these institutions, so we can get a framework that is actually working out. So this kind of way to research, I think, will be helpful, because it is again helpful with respect to my own.
You should also measure results to know whether all of this is
Again,
useful.
yeah, because results would be good indicators, like I think the prediction thing or the result that is generally shown in papers. So with respect to this institute that you were talking about, so the results that they have got, teenager millionaire, would be an indication of successfulness with respect to society and with respect to the construct that we are working in. So that would say that if we follow this system, we would get the success, and we are not just getting the success with respect to the societal norm, the rationality and the philosophical things that we actually want the children to have, they also have that thing. So it's like they have the success part of the new thing that we want to put in them, but they also have the success part of the things that the world decides or describes as successful. So we're putting both of them. And again, it seems like they're already doing this and they already have things on ground level, so a lot of things can be just extracted out, and only the framework is important from these things.
So that's what I'm planning, or I'm trying that I might do that in future, because I think that that's the very main reason I'm going for an MBA, because I want to open a think tank in which we can collaborate, like each one of us, people who want to change the education system, like people, all these peoples can collaborate, and each one would be having their own like field of expertise, like in your case rationality. and in some another case. So yeah, so I was earlier even finding some think tank or area where like people come together and they discuss about things like this, and they try to devise a very like a very efficient education system which encapsulates all these things which are the very essence of wisdom and rationality. So but unfortunately I have not been like currently able to find such think tank. So if you ever find it, then do notify me and I would love to join it. Also, I'm planning to open my own think tank or our own think tank in which like people from all these areas, some educators from Finland, some from India, some from here, we all could collaborate and devise a best method so far we can apply.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the most promising organization I know of is the Foundation the Foundation for Critical Thinking, which is a US-based organization.
But these all things are, I think, a long shot. We will be doing them in the long run. What about in the short term that we can do right now? Like, what are you actually looking for through your post on Slack or through all of this conversation? You're looking for some insight for your paper, or you're looking for some.
People who are interested in this, people who are maybe already working on this, people who know research, people who want to work on this creative community.
And
It was very open-ended.
what is the role of EA in this? Like, how much is EA supporting this thing?
How much is EA supporting? So there is not much interest as of yet in EA for this. Someone wrote a post about this, like focused on teaching philosophy in the EA forum in 2020. I myself wrote a post about this in teaching rationality 2 years ago, but there was not much response. I mean, I haven't got. It's not that there are convincing arguments against this being an important course. It's more that it doesn't seem to create a lot of enthusiasm or.
Because I asked this because just now when you talked about that website, and I tried to think about who told me about that website last time, then I recall that I have met a person here in Italy. He's part of EA Italy, and he's doing similar kind of thing that we are doing. It would have been nice if I would have added him, but I forgot about him. So he has very good amount of a practical experience of doing all this thing in real world, not just theoretically thinking and working about it. He's actually implementing these things on ground level, and he's also very actively involved in teaching methods and doing these new things. So it would have been nice if I would have added him to the call as well. But the thing that I asked you is because he's actually involving the ways of EA as well, along with his own thoughts and along with his own ways. But overall in the EA global, I don't see any work going on in this thing. Mostly they are focused on AI safety or that animal thing, not on these kind of topics. But it would be nice if we propose these things on the global level as well, so that they can pass down to other country-wise level. Because along with AI safety and making machines wise or safe, it is also important to make humans wise and safe as well. So that approach should also be a priority, as I think. And you should also I think because if you put this kind of proposal to EA, then they will utilize all of their network and all of their influence that they have to find out and collect down all the peoples that they have in this kind of committee and make a Slack from EA side, EA wisdom, something like that. And that way it will be more larger scale than working individually and finding people here and there and then adding them to the Slack group. That is very less efficient. I think we should utilize the already standard or set methods or set organizations that could work in this way. And okay, so I'm still not sure at this moment what you're actually trying to do on short term basis. Like, you're actually trying to write a paper on this thing, or you're trying to formulate a startup idea, you're trying to formulate an education system policy draft that you can set to some government or to some officials. What you're actually trying to make out of all of this?
I don't have any concrete plans for now. My main activity is I'm still a PhD student in economics. I just want to basically just wanted to explore this in an open-ended way and maybe get something going. I mean, I would be open to maybe actually start an organization on this, but first I need to find some collaborators. Education policy is something that is very hard to influence. There are many actors trying to influence education policy. It's very unclear what, as someone, me, I don't have any connections to politics or anything,
But
what I would do. So I guess the first step is to maybe establish a community and attract some people that are in a better position to do something about this than myself, and motivate them to get active.
And obviously you can just get the people who have more expertise than you in this kind of policy drafting thing and all. The intention is the important part, and given that you have background with economics, and also I think you can utilize that very properly to influence the EA thing and talk them out how it will be a useful thing on a broader level.
Okay, but it was very nice to talk to you. Let's keep in touch, maybe.
And for other implementation thing and discussion thing, let us know if there's something that we can do. I think it would be very nice if we can participate in this on a global level, because we are already working on this on our local level. Like, not me particularly, he's working on a local level. I am not even working on these kind of topics because I don't believe in human getting better any much. It seems like they have gone way too bad to get better, and also I like to focus on machines way more than humans. So that, but again, I think if there is something I can contribute, it would be nice. And yeah, just let us know what we can do.
Yes, very nice. Thanks a lot for your ideas and your time.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
And let's stay connected.
Let's stay connected.
Sure. Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye bye. Goodbye.